Flash issue 750 I felt was more of an improvement over Wonder Woman 750, and I think it comes down to the fact that Flash had the benefit of Joshua Williamson as the book's only writer, whereas Wonder Woman has gone through at least four by the time the issue came out, and we have a new writer on the way. And the reason that's important is because it results in a lack of focus in the book. What 750 does for Flash is that it keeps the focus with its best stories, such as Joshua Williamson furthering his story and returning the character Godspeed. Compare this to Wonder Woman, whose stories were mostly isolated in themselves and were really just furthering other solo stories like Bombshells. And who, not that Bombshells was bad, but who needed more of that for Wonder Woman 750? That would be more appropriate for Wonder Woman 1000 in the vein of, say, Action Comics and Detective Comics 1000. Flash 750, I feel, does a better job because the overall story is like the aforementioned Godspeed story, Godspeed being the first villain of the Flash run in Rebirth, but as well as Wally West's own story on the Mobius chair, figuring out the confusing timelines. And of course, the new timeline, which is currently having, which seeks to reintroduce Jay Garrick as the Flash, with the new timeline being Wonder Woman serving as the first proper superhero. Everything about Flash issue 750 felt like it's been building up to something, like it's well integrated within the DC universe. Wonder Woman doesn't have that, and I think that's best exemplified with Flash 750. There's nothing going on in Wonder Woman's book that feels like it's necessary. Again, I mentioned this before. Darkseid came back in Wonder Woman's book, like earlier in Dark Knight's Metal and in Darkseid War. It was confirmed that he was still a baby, and he came back in Wonder Woman's own book, and no one talked about it. It was not built up as well as anything else. Actually, it was built up the same as anyone else's, but no one talked about it afterwards. And I just don't get it. I think it really does benefit. It does have the problem of there being no stable rider because everyone knew that James Robinson was just going to be around for a short period of time. It takes a lot for readers to care about temporary riders. They either have to already know them, like James Tynion, who is doing his work on Batman right now, which will not be a permanent thing. Robert Venditti on Justice League, also not a permanent thing, but people like it enough they're going to keep reading it. A lot of readers will wait until they know who the new mainstay is coming. Because anything else is really just almost a waste of time. So the question is, will Mariko Tamaki come in and be able to stay longer than Greg Rucka's 30 issues? Or will she be gone with less than 20? Who knows? But coming back on Flash 750 a bit, because I think we sort of glanced over it a bit, and that's not fair to Flash. There were some really good stories here, which in a lot of ways did make it similar to Wonder Woman 750, but again, there's a different vibe to it because the book already has such a strong stable going, with Joshua Williams' story being the first. So we had a great story about Captain Cole just going on a beer run. We had a story about Barry understanding how the multiverse of Flash is. Like, if he wasn't the Flash, who else would do it? And it would still be someone like Barry. And even more so in Josh Williams' own story, before we get like the plot going, there's a nice moment of just seeing how the universe, or at least the DC universe, feels about the Flash, about the impact he has on their lives and on the city. You don't get that with Wonder Woman's book. Yeah, it's really hard to separate the two because, yeah, I read both. Overall, though, I think you really do have to read both to really understand why Flash is better than Wonder Woman in this case. And it's a shame because Wonder Woman's book has been handled so lackluster lately, and she's the one with the movies definitely coming out. We're still waiting for Ezra Miller's Flash movie. I just don't know. I don't know. Overall, again, if you haven't read Flash 750, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. The arrival of the new villain Paradox, the return of Godspeed, the fact that this book knows how to, or has the benefit of all the 75 issues being consistent with each other, one leading into the next story, really helps because all the relationships feel intertwined. There's a sense of permanence to it because of that. So yeah, we're bringing this video to close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.